What is going on, everybody? Randy Paddock here, and it is 2018. I got my sweet ass Chicago mug here. My sister got me for Christmas. Thank you, Nicole. Having a coffee, little sip there, and this is the first installment of any sort of bull chat in 2018. So I ended 2017 talking about my year in review. The Discipline Equals Freedom one was before that too, so check those out. You can look at all the old bull chats or baby chats or whatever on iTunes at Bull Chat. So if you want to subscribe to that or rate it, that would be awesome. And then obviously the YouTube channel Bull Chat Pod. So subscribe to it, leave comments, thumbs up, thumbs down, or follow me on social media. You can do all of that. So hopefully everyone that's listening had a great New Year, and clearly y'all survived New Year. So awesome. So I want to start off the new year just getting content out, talking about some stuff, but I didn't want to do a full bull chat because nothing really eventful happening. I'm kind of lame as of right now. Starting the 28th of December to the 28th of January, I gave up bullshit for a month. So no drinking, although I have my Drink Local 60084 Wakanda Stand Up t-shirt on. But I gave up drinking and I gave up like cheat meals, so no bad food. It was tough the other day too, especially because we were doing something at work after the fact. And we were at a bar and there was tons of beers and tons of pizzas, and your boy went in his car and ate carrots after the fact. But not for any particular reason, just to see, how I feel. And I think it's good to kind of recalibrate, once every now and then to kind of see where the body is at. So this month, kind of lame. I did the 28th to the 20th because I have a work event on the 28th. So when I succeed in passing my goal, I'm going to celebrate by having some beers there with some of my pals. But I think it's always like kind of a good thing to test yourself and challenge yourself and try out new things to see what happens. It's not forever. And literally, especially if it comes to like drinking or eating like shit, like if you can't stop that stuff for a month, like you probably need some help. But I decided to do a baby chat this week. So the baby chat this week, it's about, I call it epic fails. So it's about failure in general. So I know a lot of people, in 2018 or New Year's Eve, you start to make like New Year's resolutions, or maybe you start to think about goals. Or you can also, if you're a negative person like myself, you think about all the stuff that you fucked up in the last year, and then that snowballs into the year before, and then you think about all these failures and you get kind of down on yourself. But then you might get motivated for the new year, but then the motivation runs off kind of early, and then you might try something new, like, I'm going to start this new class, or I'm going to start this new job, or I'm going to learn a new language or whatever, and then you try it a little bit, it gets hard, and you quit, and then you think you're a failure, and then this, that, and the other, and then you don't do anything new, and it's that circle of depression, and that circle of quitting things, and that circle of, bullshit a lot of us fall into. So I just talk a little bit about, like, failure in general. So, like, why, and again, the trusty notebook's out, so the nerd hasn't changed in 2018. So why do we fear failure? All right, because most people do. If you were to poll, a random 100 people and ask them, are you afraid to fail? I'm guessing 80 to 90% would be agreeing to saying yes, that they're afraid to fail, not even knowing the context of what it is. And why is because I think there's like the negative connotation around failure, right? The word failure in general. So let's think like back in the day, I don't know if they do it anymore, but like that used to be like a derogatory term that people would call people, like, you are a failure, kind of like you're a loser, you're a piece of shit, like, oh, that guy's a failure, right? Like, think about that. So how pumped would you want to do something or be in with, or take on a responsibility where like that could be the outcome? Hey, what's up, you failure, right? So there's that negative connotation, like even starting from school. You know what I mean? Like, think about it. You fail in school, you get an F, big red pen, F. You're a failure, you're the worst, you're the dumb kid, everyone laughs at you, right? You bring the report card home. If you have an F or you're a failure, your parents, ground you or yell at you or hit you with the wooden spoon. I don't know if that goes on these days or whatever. So like, even our systems, our school systems, institutions, when we were young children, was instituted and kind of let us know that, hey, if you fail, you're wrong, you're bad, you're not as smart, you're not as good. Here's a big red F to let you know that you're not as good, right? And it moves up into college. There's even certain classes that are straight up pass fail, which have nothing to do it's like like, what about everything in between, right? You're either all or nothing. You're a have or a have not. You're a winner or you're a loser, which I'm not 100% against. But again, it's putting that connotation about failure. It's not even giving the criteria like really what constitutes a failure, right? Or even more important, how like that breeds the how least do I have to like what's the least amount I have to do to pass, right? So then what's going to really make people want to go the 110% if I can go 41% and pass, because we're naturally going to go into what's easier, and that's the path of least resistance, and that's not going above and beyond. So again, it's creating this culture which is kind of unrealistic. You know what I'm saying? But also like any kind of tests, like every test, if you failed it, was a bad thing, right? You fail a drug test, it's probably bad, right? You're on drugs, you're not going to get a job, right? You could take your driver's test, you fail, you're not going to drive a car. So we've just had this fucking word shoved down our throat in a bad light. That you are a failure, you are not winning, you are a loser, you cannot be good. And I think that's kind of detrimental because, it's making people be scared to fail at things, right? There's that whole like epic fail thing online, or epic fail, and there's like just people fucking up shit. And again, do I watch it? It's hilarious. I watch a new version of it now. If you ever have time and you want to watch something hilarious, go to on Twitter. It says hold my beer. Just follow that shit. And it's usually said like hold my beer while and then it's someone doing something stupid and usually fucking it up. Because again, we all love to see people lose. It's like some piece of shit thing in our human psyche where we like to see people fuck up at things. Maybe it makes us feel better. Like, at least I'm not that. Right? Like we're in the big old comparison game such as life, and we always want to be our self-esteem building up and our confidence building up. So at least I'm not that. Or haha, look at that idiot. Maybe it goes back to the old days of like gestures with the king's court and all that bullshit. But on the lighter side, it is pretty hilarious. So I would give it a watch. But the thing is like with failure, and as I learned as I got older, and I think a lot of people do, is that you don't want to fear it because failure is a good thing. Right? So it's learning, right? Failing at something is learning, what works and what doesn't work, which is huge in any task that you want to complete or anything that you want to do. It's growing. It's getting better at something, right? What they say, Thomas Edison, it took him 10,000 tries to get the light bulb, and now, thank you, sir, we all have lights on. I have a light going on right here. I'm sure that if you're not a creep sitting in the dark, you have a light on, right? And then light bulbs and technology leads to this fucking computer leads to a podcast, and ipso facto, here we are, right? So it's learning, it's growing, it's seeing, this doesn't work quite well, so let's add this. Imagine if everything stopped at like its first attempt at something, right? Like again, the light bulb, like or like think of like a version of like every time Apple comes out with like a new iPhone or something, right? Like before they have all the updates, or like something usually fucks up, right? Like it'll blow up in someone's pocket or something doesn't happen, whatever. Like just imagine if everything was just the first version and never progressed or never got better, right? We wouldn't buy the computer right here. This Mac that I'm on would still be that old ass Mac that had like the green lettering. Right? We'd all still have pagers, or maybe not even pagers. We'd be on like rotary phones, right? Imagine too if like, just like the first version of a house, right? With the three little pigs. The first version of the house got you eaten, right? You need that third version. So you want to think that like that's why, remember like English class, you had like the rough draft, it got revised, right? That was failure, but put in a better light, right? It got revised, you brought it back, revised, so you can get the best form of something, right? I think that's the mindset we want to have, why we don't want to fear, because the more I fail, the more I'm going to figure out what works, what doesn't work, and I'm going to be able to get the best version of whatever desired outcome I want to be it my mind, be it my body, be it my work, be it this task, be it being a parent, be it being a dog dad, being it whatever, right? And imagine if we just quit everything like the first time we failed at it. Like think about it, no one would be walking. We'd all be seal crawling around, right? Like you ever seen a kid try to walk? They don't stand up and they're just cruising and walking. No, they stand up, they fall down. They stand up, they fall down. They stand up, they fall down. They stand up, they take their hands off the couch. Look at me. They fall down, right? Because they get pumped. They stand up, they're like wobbly, they move, they fall down. They get pissed and they laugh their ass off, right? So it's kind of ironic because it's in our DNA. It's in our human, our human path to fail, right? And to accept it and move on, right? Like a little baby whose brain doesn't even exist yet, like they know that you don't stop at one thing, that you keep doing it, and that's how you're going to get better. So it's funny how kind of these social constraints and these social institutions will put, this is a failure now. Hey, you suck at math now, don't try to practice on it or learn to walk because you're a failure, right? So just imagine that, like failing's a good thing, right? Remember the first time you drove a car, right? Like if you quit because you sucked, you wouldn't, no one would be driving, right? With anything, we all fucking sucked at something when we first started it, and we didn't quit. We didn't see it as a bad failure. We saw it as a chance to learn or grow, and we were excited, and now we're still doing it. That's it, right? So what it does is failure, like if you look at it the right way, like it strengthens your mind, right? Like it's making you better, right? If you fail at something, it's going to strengthen your mind. Like you're going to get smarter. If I don't know something, I'm not a failure. I'm going to learn it. If I mess it up, it's creating that like muscle memory. So my brain, it's literally pumping iron in the brain. So it's making me smarter. It's making me better. It's making me more aware, more intelligent, more on my toes. It can strengthen my body, right? Like in lifting, right? You can do sets till failure, right? You want to push, see how much you can do until your body stops. That's going to give you a massive amount of growth, right? You have to fail and rest, right? So you go until failure, you rest, your muscles have a chance to rebuild, right? And then you can go till failure again, and you're going to get bigger. You're going to get stronger, right? So it's funny, again, it's another positive thing in a different context, right? If I fail my driving test, I'm a loser. If I go to failure in the gym at a big weight, I'm a winner, I'm bigger, I'm getting stronger, right? So let's think about it like that. If I'm failing, it's going to get me out of my comfort zone, which is making me better, right? Like if you do the same thing all the time and you never expand or get out of your comfort zone, like you're not progressing along this train of life. Like you're not getting any better. If you're the same person that you are in 2018 today that you were in 2017 or 2016 or 2015 or 2014 or God forbid like 2004, like if you're the same person, like you're not getting out of your comfort zone, right? And it feels comfortable. It feels all right though. Like you're never going to feel great. Like you'll feel very mediocre. And I think a lot of people live that kind of mediocre life because, again, we're taught that if you fail, you're a loser. So we don't want to try a lot of new things because we have what we're good at, what we know in our comfort zone. So that's where we stay. But ultimately, I think that's where people kind of get depressed or bummed out because they have more they want to do, the more they want to achieve, or maybe things they want to try that they're kind of scared to do. And then they'll mask it in oh, I'm just not that way, or oh, if I don't have the time, or whatever excuse you want to come up with, when really it's probably just scared to fail or get out of the comfort zone, right? Because getting out of the comfort zone is scary, makes you feel uncomfortable, and you're afraid you might be bad at something. And you have an ego, as does us all, so especially if it's in a group, you're afraid you're going to look like a dummy, and then you don't want to do it. But who gives a fuck? Right? I think as you grow older, you really understand that who gives a fuck? You have to do what you want to do, and you have to get better, and you have to grow, and that's how you live a fulfilling life. It's your life. You want to feel the best. You don't want to have regrets. You don't want to have what ifs. You don't want to live in mediocrity. Like, it's not a good feeling. So try something new. Who gives a shit? People are failing all the time, right? I've been walking for 33 years. I tripped over a fucking curb the other day and ate shit, right? I was in Chicago. People saw me. What am I going to do? I don't give a fuck. I got up and I kind of laughed at it, brushed myself off, and kept it moving because, like, I don't care, right? I got a big-ass beard. I'm trying these new things with my mustache. If you see it on the YouTube, right? I'm figuring it out. So I'm failing. I'm going. I'll wear it out in public. How people look at me, I'll kind of judge if it's working or not. But at the end of the day, I don't give a shit because I like it, right? So get out of your comfort zone. Because once you're out of your comfort zone, and you see that failing's not that bad, and you're growing, and you're getting smarter, and you're getting stronger, and you're getting better, you get bigger balls, right? So to speak. hypothetical balls, right? Metaphorical balls, right? So what you do is then you're less afraid to take risks and get out of comfort to try new things as a new thing. So what this does by balls, I mean confidence. So it's strengthening your confidence and your self-confidence. And that's what it's all about, believing in yourself, right? And I don't mean like you should believe in yourself and you can do anything. I'm just talking about believing in yourself that shit ain't that tough. Believe in yourself that you are better than you think you are, and that remembering that we're really great at stuff and that we can do new things, we can get good at new things. And if we fail at new things, it doesn't matter because we can get better. Everything is a skill for the most part, right? Like take that with a little bit of grain of salt, but a majority of things are a skill that we can learn, right? Hey, shut up, Leroy. Come on, this guy, he's protecting the house. But it's like, stop. So it's like they say in jiu-jitsu, right? A black belt's just a white belt that never quit. Right, and I think that's like a great motto or mindset to live by is like just don't quit at things and let them play out, right? Like especially in a thing like jiu-jitsu, you're gonna fail all the time and you're gonna get tapped all the time, but that's especially if you're trying new things, but that's a good thing, right? Because if you keep your game the same, like it doesn't evolve, right? Like if you look at the sport, any sport, right, especially extreme sports, so like freestyle motocross now from one like back in the day when Carey Hart did a single backflip, it was like the craziest thing on the planet. Now people do double backflips, front flips, double front flips, like all this crazy shit. They're getting out of their comfort zone. They're trying, failing, and progressing and putting on this great product, right? With all these businesses, if you look in like Dubai and all the crazy shit they're doing with buildings and architecture that can move, right? If you just look at like the extremes people can do with anything, how smart people are getting, the technology that we have. This is all through trial and error, which is failure and not getting discouraged and progressing and people getting out of their comfort zones and trying new things and creating new things. That's the human experience. And the more you get out of your comfort zone and the more you fail and then strengthen your brain and know what not to do, know what works and what doesn't work, and then apply that, and the bigger your balls get, the more confidence you are, that's how the world changes. That's how it becomes awesome. Right? So what we have to do is we have to change our mindset. Right? Like my man Jocko Willink, says when things are tough, you need to endure. You say good. So that's the kind of thing I want you to think about with failures. Every time you fail or get asked to go out of your comfort zone or try something new, say good in your head. Good. I have more time to learn this. Good. I'm ready for this now. Good. I can practice this. If you put that in your head, you're slowly changing your mindset of failure from being something we were, conditioned to see as bad and a big fat red F and you're a fucking loser to good, I'm better, I'm stronger, I'm faster, I'm smarter, I'm more well-rounded. So I'm learning, right? And that's just always finding the positive side of things. And this is a hard thing for me to do because I'm naturally a negative person. I know a lot of people are, but like always finding the positive, right? What did I learn? Perfect. So now I know this. Let's redo it. Right? And it's funny because as much as we're conditioned not to, like when we were younger, they tried. Like the system also tried to help us, right? If it's, mazes, like where you had like those books when you were a kid, like a coloring book, but also had like mazes and word searches in it. Like that's all a maze is you figure out what doesn't work. All right, let's go a different way. That's teaching your brain to think, to problem solve, to see what doesn't work and to go on. Right? That's why if your teacher was, or if you were smart, your teacher would say, try it, turn it in, I could revise it and bring it back, tell you what's right, what's wrong, right? That's why there's prototypes. So again, failure is being positive. Do not be afraid, be excited, right? Encourage it in others too. You know what I mean? Like it's changing the stigma. If someone fucks something up, again, it's hard, and I fall in this trap too. I try not to do it in front of people, right? Like that's why I watch the Hold My Beer on Twitter because I could laugh in my room. But like if someone's trying something new and they don't do it well or they fail it, they fuck it up, encourage them. Right? It's going to make you feel better. It's going to make them feel better, and you're going to be encouraged when you're trying something new, right? What's the golden rule? Treat others how you want to be treated, right? I think that still applies in 2018. It is encourage people. That's why I'm a big fan of like group activities, right? And group classes, whatever's your poison. If it's jiu-jitsu or a combat sports, if it's CrossFit, if it's powerlifting, if it's yoga, if it's like a running club, if it's, any other kind of club, if it's a book club or whatever, all these different things, I think that community and tribe is a big thing that helps humans get better. And I think if in those areas, and I'm involved in a few, like, they're very positive, and it's encouraged to fail and to try new things, and people aren't going to laugh at you and point at you if you do. They're going to encourage you, maybe ask you questions. Oh, how'd you do that? Maybe I want to try. And it creates and manifests this awesome culture and this great feeling of people getting better and growing and moving towards the positive, and that's how we become better as people. So flip the script, man. Change the thought. When someone fails, give them a high five. Fuck yeah. Right? What did we learn? Let's talk it through. I want people to not be afraid to try new things or to make decisions, right? Because if someone's afraid of failure, they're going to have hesitation. Hesitation will kill you in anything, right? So if we create a culture where it's all right to get out of your comfort zone, to fuck up, and you're not going to get reprimanded, you're not going to get ridiculed, you're not going to be a fucking loser, then you're not going to hesitate more and you're going to act. And if people just started acting more, there'd be a lot less people bitching about things, or a lot less people talking about shit that doesn't get done, right? And as long as you think things through and act, like, perfect. Because you're going to win sometimes, you're going to lose sometimes, but you're always going to learn, right? So I think that's it. Embrace the challenge, right? The easy way, the path less taken, all that shit, it's crowded, man. Embrace the challenge. Right? If you embrace the challenge of failures, embrace the challenge to get out of your comfort zone, fucking expanding, you will grow, you will become better. And why do I know this? Why I say this, guys, is because this is Randy Paddock 2018. So if you never known me before 2018 or 2017, you wouldn't know. But, like, I truly believe in this stuff because it works and it's changed my life and it's turned it around and it's constantly put me on the path to become better, and it's the happiest I've ever been in my life. You know what I mean? I was a crazy animal that didn't give a shit about nothing and was just lived so much in my comfort zone of my town, of my group of friends, of what I knew, that I spent a lot of years of my life fucking off, making excuses, and thinking I was being awesome and doing cool shit. I wasn't. I was being a loser. That was failing. That was a fail. The failure was I wasn't failing enough. I wasn't trying new things. I wasn't out of my comfort zone. I wasn't embracing challenges. I was passing on the buck. I was avoiding challenges. I wasn't becoming the best possible motherfucker I could be. So that's the path I've been on now for a few years. That's the path I'm going to continue to go on. I embrace things. I like challenges. I'm looking to grow. I'm fucking up all the time, and I'm doing it with a smile on this pretty-ass face. So I think you should do the same. Leroy barked. He did not agree. So remember that, guys. Like, don't be afraid to fail. Failure is good. Embrace the challenges and giddy up. Giddy the fuck up. Start failing. Fail a lot. Fail fast. You will grow. You will get better. Put that shit in the books. Hope 2018 starts to kick ass. All right? Fail. Peace!